Okay, so I'm going to mention two things first before we begin. First, the gameplay that you're watching right now is Bloodborne, and no, I will not do a walkthrough. I refuse to do it, mostly because of the story. Second, I'm mostly going to be talking about the annual one and not issues 7 and 8 that much, because 7 and 8, there's not really that much to even say, except for a few brief moments here and there, but that's pretty much it. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Hey guys, Bizkit Rebellion, and in this video I'm going to share my thoughts on Teen Titans issue 7, 8, and Annual 1, which I believe that one just released 2 or 3 days ago, depending on when this video is posted. Now, I was going to do a review on all 3 of these issues, but I couldn't because of one word, and you can probably guess by now, and that is copyright. So let's get started. So in issue 7, the terrorists just recently blew up Star Labs' vault. They infiltrated and they discovered a blueprint of a weapon called the Eraser. Which, that's not actually its name, they just chose that name because when they announced to everyone in New York City, and they revealed it to us, the readers, that they were planning on using this weapon to blow up literally everything in the city, they basically said this, and I quote, "A device with a name too complicated for you to pronounce, much less understand. Suffice it to say, its nickname is the Eraser." Yeah. On top of that, they just revealed their plans to everyone, including every superhero that is in New York City. Yeah, try to wrap that around your head for a minute. So what does this Eraser do? Well, according to the comic and what the terrorist says, he said, and I quote, "As the name suggests, it wipes things clean off." Yes, he digs it underneath New York City. When he activates it, it sends off this explosion of radiation, and it wipes out the entire city off. Like, the entire city of New York City is gone. That's it. That's all he explained what this weapon does. And that's all the information we're going to get from this comic. Yeah. Anyway, Manchester is freaking out. He can't believe that these terrorists just so happened to recently stole the blueprints of the weapon and already have built the device and have it fully operational. They just probably need a minute or two before they actually activate the device because bad guy logic. But he also remembers a rumor that was told to him about the terrorists having a device that has the ability to control time. Now, what this device does, it's not necessarily stopping time, it's more slowing down time to the point where you assume that it's frozen. He also heard a rumor that these terrorists have the ability to control magic, kind of the same magic that Raven uses, but not exactly. So Manchester just puts 2 and 2 together and comes to the conclusion that they've used this time device in order for them to build the weapon. So what happens next is pretty disappointing and depressing to me. Because, okay, first, I've said over the course of multiple reviews that Raven in the New 52 is a pretty useless character, and there have been multiple examples proving that thought. What happens next in this issue is another example of that thought. Okay, so the terrorists use the time device again to stop time. Everyone is affected by that time device with the exception of Raven. Now, there are 2 thoughts that came into my head when this happened. One, I was very happy because I thought to myself, wow, this is finally a good or great opportunity for Raven to prove herself that she is capable of saving the day without anybody's help. Because now she can't bring backup. She can't because everyone's frozen. Let's just say that wasn't the case. And the second thing that came into my mind, it was more when I thought about it in logical terms. So the terrorists use the time device to slow down time to the point where you think it's stopped, right? Everyone except for Raven is affected by this device. So that means that Raven is immune by the effects of this device. Now, think of it like this. They needed to use this before because, according to Manchester, it takes weeks to build the Eraser, you know, the weapon that they were going to use to blow up New York City, and it takes weeks in order for them to calibrate the weapon once it's already built. So there's a pretty decent amount of time they need in order for that device to be fully operational. So, of course, they needed this device in order to do so. So they have done this before. Why hasn't Raven noticed that time has stopped before? Like when they first used it? Because again, according to Manchester, once they blew up Starlab's vault in order to get the blueprint, that's probably when they used the time device. So at that moment, when the explosion happened and everyone was freaking out, they probably used that time device right there in order to build the device. So during that moment, Raven should have noticed something, as in, oh my god, everyone is frozen. Why is everyone frozen? Did somebody affected time? Whatsoever. But the second time they use the time device, that's when she notices it. I don't know, it's weird to me. But that's not the depressing part. The depressing part happens when we find out that Beast Boy is also not affected. And get this, he turns himself into a mayfly because according to him, mayflies have the shortest lifespan on Earth. Which, that could be true. But the thing is, you are still affected by this time device. I'm assuming here. You are affected by this. So, you should be probably talking in slow motion. I don't know, I really don't want to get into the logic of this, because I could probably do an entire video on this, but essentially, what disappoints me is, here we have a chance that Raven can prove herself, without the need of backup, and then Beast Boy all of a sudden shows up saying, oh no, well, first off, Raven said, oh, it's only up to me, and then Beast Boy shows up and said, no, it's up to us. Really? Really? And what makes it even worse, when they go to where the terrorists are located at, where they're building the device to stop them, Beast Boy does most of the work, because all Raven did was she teleported them over there. She blasted one guy. She got blasted by the magic that they have, and Beast Boy turns himself into a whale, drops down, and destroys the time device. And guess what happens next? Raven is apparently too weak to fight, and Beast Boy suggests to Raven to bring the team. So she brings the team, they stop them from activating the eraser, they save the day. That is pretty much it. I'm not really going to talk more about this issue, especially what happened towards the end of the issue, because all that really happened was they took the bad guy to jail, but on the way to jail, he manages to escape. That is it. And according to him, everything that just happened, the fact that he failed, the fact that he couldn't destroy New York City, was all according to plan. That's it. That's all you need to know. Also, I believe Manchester mentioned to Robin that the whole eraser... No, was it the eraser? No, it was the time device was the second worst thing they've ever built. And now Robin is a bit confused because he wants to know what is the first worst thing that they ever built. That's it. That's it for issue 7. Not really going to talk more about it. My thoughts on this issue: it had potential. It had potential to be good, but it's still meh, unfortunately. That's pretty much it of issue 7. Let's go to issue 8. And issue 8, where do I even begin with this issue? My god. I hate this issue. I really do. In fact, I hate it so much, it's pretty much the worst issue I have ever read in the entire series so far. And it depresses me because what happens after, which is Annual 1, I believe Annual 1 is the best issue in the entire series. But I'll talk about that later on. So for this issue, all you need to know is the Teen Titans are popular enough that they're famous. They're categorized as famous. That is it. That's all we learn in this issue, except for maybe 3 things. And I kind of hesitate on these 3 things because I'm not even sure if they're that important. But anyway, yeah, that's all you learn about this issue. There's no talk of the terrorists except towards the end. Everyone is just chilling out, relaxing, and it's funny because normally you see these types of things in comics after a big event happens. And if I can say, issue 7 was the beginning of an arc. This issue is part 2 of the arc, and you can tell when whoever has this issue, you can tell when you go and read the one page where they show who's writing the issue, who's drawing, who's the artist, who's the inker, who's all those people. You see a mini title probably close to where their names are, and it says insert arc name part 1, part 2, part 3, or whatever. In this issue is insert arc name part 2. This is part 2 of an arc, of a new arc that just started, and it already feels like filler. That's sad. That's depressing. That's just wrong, in my opinion. But yeah, there's nothing going on. Let me explain the 3 things that in my opinion, are a bit important and kind of the only things you need to know about this issue. So, 1. Bunker and Beast Boy are having their own reality TV show, and the only reason I find that a bit important is because they mentioned this again in Annual 1, and I'm pretty sure they're going to mention this again later on. That's the only reason I find that important, and that's the only thing you need to know about Bunker and Beast Boy. The second thing, it's about Raven. So Raven goes to hang out with, I believe, these guys who are doing a band about her. She's hanging out with them, and they're performing, and they're singing, and they're doing all that other stuff. And Raven is getting into the rhythm again. She looks like she's about to dance or go along with the music. Until she noticed that the crowd that was listening to the band play was getting a little bit rough, and even some of them decided to jump on the stage and tackle the lead singer. So Raven turned into her own costume since she was a civilian. Dressed up as a civilian during the time, she puts her own superhero costume and tells them to stop and whatnot. And she came to the conclusion that the reason this could have happened is because of the way she was feeling. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, Raven thinks that she has affected other people's emotions, or she has gained or has the ability to affect people's emotions. Now remember, the old Raven from the old universe is able to do that. In this one, since this is a new universe, she just discovered that. So it kind of makes sense that she can do it. The fact that she discovered it, it's whatever, but I'm fine with that. I'm completely fine with that. That's the second thing you need to know about this issue. The third thing is Manchester tells Robin about Superboy. And that happened at the very last page. The very last page. So yeah, those are the 3 things you need to know. Everything else is just nothing. Just nothing. I mean, yeah, there was this one moment with Wonder Girl where a guy pretended that he was getting beat up by the Legion of Wonder Girls, and he had a camera on his glasses. You know, one of those glasses that has a camera on it in case if you ever want to spy somebody or you want to catch them saying something stupid. Without having an obvious wire hooked up to your chest, you have the camera glasses that records and does whatever you want it to do. Yeah, he has one of those. He's pretending to get beat up by the Legion of Wonder Girls by, I think, intimidating them or pretending that he was robbing the place so he can get beat up by them. Wonder Girl shows up. The guy who's getting beat up has her on camera. He kind of taunts her, and that's pretty much it. You really don't need to know more about that because nothing happens. That's it. She just stops them from beating up the guy. She's wondering what he's doing here. He reveals that he has a camera on his glasses, and that's it. No, seriously, that's it. But yeah, enough about issue 2. This is already giving me a headache. Let's just pretend that never even existed. So, on to Annual 1. I mentioned before that Annual 1 is my most favorite comic book issue in the entire series, which is pretty funny because if you go to the page where it shows the people who worked on this issue, you'll notice that 2 people wrote the script and 1 person wrote the plot. Here's where the funny thing comes in. One of the people who wrote the script is the current writer of the Teen Titans comic book series, the one who wrote issue 1 to 8, while the other guy, he goes by the name of Tom King, is the person who also wrote the plot. So essentially what I'm saying is Tom King wrote pretty much the majority of the story in this issue. And so far I have to honestly say it is more exciting than whatever the other guy who is currently writing Teen Titans wrote for that series. And that's pretty sad to me. But anyway, on to what's going on with this issue. So Superboy returns and is caught on a video killing 22 people and leaving 1 person injured. He's currently being captured, or he's in custody by the police. They took him to the police station and he comes across Martian Manhunter disguised as a detective, and he wants to know why he's done it. Superboy returns and he is currently holed up to a police station because he was caught on a viral video killing 22 people and leaving one person injured. He also comes across Martian Manhunter disguised as a detective wanting to know why Superboy has killed those people. Superboy tells him that he really doesn't know why because he doesn't remember doing it. On top of that, he doesn't remember having the desire to kill those people. Martian Manhunter doesn't believe him, so he decides to read his mind to see exactly what happened during those events, and it turns out he actually did kill those people, and he did have the desire to do so. Then he gets mad. But one of the biggest reasons he gets mad over this is because the people who he's killed are also Martians, or aliens to be more specific, but they're Martian Manhunter's people. So Superboy basically killed 22 Martians. Martian Manhunter gets mad and starts assaulting him. Now, in another room in the police station, we see another female who is also an alien escape that room, goes to where Martian Manhunter is, tells him to stop, and believes Superboy not killing those people. Martian Manhunter gets into a bit of a scuffle with her, but female defeats Martian Manhunter and she escapes with Superboy. Then we see the Titans, who are pretty shooked up by what's going on with the news, and they are in disbelief to believe that Superboy is doing all of this, mostly Cassie, who is Wonder Girl. Later, we see the Titans, who are a bit shooken up by the news and in disbelief to believe that Superboy is doing all of this, mostly Wonder Girl, who, if you guys can't remember, they both, Wonder Girl and Superboy, had a relationship way back somewhere after Trigon's attack on Times Square, and I believe it was before issue 30 of Scott Liddell's Teen Titans run. But it didn't last that long because, of course, for the sake of drama, Wonder Girl cheats on Superboy with Red Robin. That Superboy has yet to know of that information. Robin tries to comfort Wonder Girl by ensuring her that this is not Connor, this is not the Superboy that they know, that maybe something is going on, but Wonder Girl does not believe what he says. She even went as far as to say that the last time, or at least the first time we met him, he had the intention of killing us. He was designed to kill. That's what Wonder Girl thinks, which is funny because if I can remember correctly, after the whole culling incident with Harvest and all that other bullshit, the Titans were trapped in the island after that event. She and Superboy were all alone. I believe she was the one that told him that he is not a weapon, that he chooses who he thinks he is, and at this point is when Superboy believes that he is human, or at least he wants to be human and not the machine that he was designed to do, which is to kill. He doesn't want to do that anymore. And with Cassie's help, he tries to be a person. So hearing her say that is a little bit hypocritical. That or it contradicts what she said before. Then, to Wonder Girl's surprise, Robin reveals that he has brought Superboy to where their home base or headquarters or whatever the hell you want to call that is, and to her surprise, she is a bit upset for not being informed over this and the fact that he has brought a killer. You know, there are times where every time the panel shows Wonder Girl pissed off at Connor, there are times where I really do want to smack her because she kind of doesn't have a reason to be mad. No, seriously. This is a person who she had a relationship with. On top of that, she convinced him not to be this way. And just because of one incident, she all of a sudden, you know, starts assuming that he is back to the way he was. He's never going to change. In fact, I believe later on, towards the end of the issue, she thoroughly believes that Connor is bad. I keep calling him Connor, sorry. Superboy is bad. That Superboy is going to kill us all, that blah blah blah. I really don't know what is up with her deal. I guess whoever wrote this part, at least, decided that it's best to leave it this way for the sake of drama or something. I don't know, it's just something that confused me every time I read this section. But anyway, Superboy, goddamn. Sorry, the reason why I'm saying Connor for anybody who is confused is because that's the old Superboy's name, and by old I mean the previous universe Superboy's name. Let's call him Connor. Yes, let's call him Connor. Fuck that. I know it's not his established name, but that's the only name that I can think of right now, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna make that canon anyway, so yeah. Connor tries really hard to explain to the Titans that it wasn't him, that something must have happened, but he just can't remember. He received help from an alien who I believe he left at a bedroom just for her to rest because she was losing a lot of power and whatnot. And then, all of a sudden, Martian Manhunter starts attacking, which is funny because I don't know how he knew where he was unless he did it telepathically. But anyway, he starts attacking, the Titans try to defend themselves, and then right out of nowhere, the alien that Superboy brought in with him woke up and starts attacking Martian Manhunter, telling him to stop, that he's making a mistake, but he doesn't believe her. He starts pounding his way, searching for Superboy until he basically changed his costume to, I believe the shirt is now black and white, and it's the reason why he has that shirt, he received it from Raven, who she got it from the bandmates, and it was given to her for a metaphorical reason. Think of it like this. The shirt is black and white. It's supposed to represent light and dark, and you are the balance between light and dark. Raven decided it wasn't a good fit for her, so she decided to give it to Superboy, which is why you see him in a black and white shirt. So now that's his new look. He comes out of nowhere, out of his room. Once he starts changing his clothes and everything, he's done with that. He gets out of the room, randomly and epically punches Martian Manhunter, and he is knocked out. The funny thing is that even though he's knocked out, Superboy continues to pummel him down, demanding Martian Manhunter to understand that he is not a killer, that he is a Superboy. He will never hurt anybody, which is funny because he's exactly doing what he doesn't want to do, and that's hurting someone because he keeps pummeling as he's saying this. Wonder Girl tries very hard to not let him continue doing so, telling him to stop, but he continues doing so in rapid fury until he kind of stops. And of course, in situations like this, Wonder Girl tells Robin, see what I told you? He is a monster, he is a killer, blah blah blah. Robin puts his head down in a bit of shame and in disbelief, but he refuses to admit, or he is not convinced that Connor is a monster. After the battle is over, Power Girl suggests to not let Superboy within the team and turn him into the police, but Robin refuses. See, that is what I want. That I can understand. See, Power Girl objecting towards bringing a former member of the team who is accused of murder and caught on video of him doing the act. That I can understand because she just arrived into the team. She has kind of every right to say no, same as everyone else, but at least she has a justifiable reason. Wonder Girl, not so much, especially since she has history with Connor. Robin isn't convinced that Connor is a monster, and he even went as far as to yell at everyone, demanding them to understand that he is a member of the team and he needs help. But Wonder Girl calms him down and tells him to just leave before the cops show up and everything, and that's what Beast Boy, Bunker, and Robin do. I don't know about Raven because I haven't seen her after this. I guess she just teleported somewhere, whatever. But what's fascinating about this issue is towards the end, Wonder Girl, before all of this ordeal, Wonder Girl makes a call to Manchester to come over here and tell him about the whole Superboy ordeal and all that other stuff, which Manchester gladly does. As you can see towards the end, he arrives and he tells the rest of the Titans, which is pretty much just Power Girl and Wonder Girl, who are alone in the room with Manchester, that they must leave before Martian Manhunter wakes up, because I'm pretty sure that once he wakes up and finds out he got his ass whooped, he's gonna be pretty mad. Then we pretty much have the most interesting page in the entire issue, and that's Manchester telling both Wonder Girl and Power Girl that he has assembled his own team that would like to meet the Titans. And within this team, there are two members that actually surprise me. Both of them are Kid Flash and Calderon. If you don't know about Calderon, I really don't want to talk a lot about him. You gotta read his comic book series, that or just search the wiki. You'll probably have a better chance and a better explanation than what I can provide to you. But anyway, yeah, we see 4 individuals, one who I believe has the Indigo Power Ring. I'm not entirely sure because I could barely see that picture. I'm looking at it right now and I could barely see it. We have Guardian, we have Kid Flash, and Calderon. But 2 of the most interesting people that I see in there is Kid Flash and Calderon. This issue is surprisingly more better than I thought. Honestly, when I first read this, I had very, very, very low expectations of this, just like every other issue since issue 3, because it's been boring, but this one is pretty good. And I have so many questions. The only bad thing about this issue, in my honest opinion, is it provides less answer and more questions. For example, the last page, I have so many questions. For example, which Kid Flash is that? Is that Bart Allen? And if that is Bart Allen, what is he doing with Manchester and why not the Teen Titans? When did he come back? Where is Solstice if that is Bart Allen? If not, then who is that Kid Flash? Does the Flash himself know about this? You know, stuff like that. And hopefully those answers will be provided to us later on as the series continues, which I doubt it because they have yet to explain why Beast Boy Skin Tone went from cherry to lemon lime. Why did the team get back together, and what is the deal with Wonder Girl and Robin's relationship? Because if I can remember correctly, after the whole Janelle incident and they returned from the future, Robin and Wonder Girl started dating. And now, as this series started, it's almost as if they didn't date, or they did, but they now hate each other. So anyway, guys, that's pretty much it for the video. Right now, I'm going to be focused on Convergence, since I believe issue 0 just released 2 or 3 days ago, depending on when this video came out. So I'm going to be focused on that event, and then I believe next month is going to be Secret Wars from Marvel. So, hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.